So we're just going to go through this, this sort of deep front line region, like through the adductors. So if you set yourself first with feet nice and wide, so about twice, if not 3 times the width of your hips, okay? Toes just nice and neutral. One on one, running parallel to one another, okay? And all we're going to do is just start by creating the lean towards your left side. And with each of these reps, again, the idea is not to side flex from the spine or the rib cage. It's the shift with the hips, keeping the nice tall spine that slowly starts to just get that little bit of length and load into that adductor region. So just working the same side first up. I'm still keeping both legs straight here to begin with, and then we're going to slowly start to flex into the right knee, so the knee that we're leaning away from rather than towards, okay? So again, just that nice slow rhythmic motion to take us to what is your comfortable end range with each rep. And with each rep, you do just aim to increase that end range a fraction further. So the key is both feet stay nice and flat and connected to the floor. That really just purely frontal plane movement, left through right, side to side, rather than having any shift forwards or backwards or anything like that just yet. We'll get to that in a moment. And from there, we'll change out to the other side. So we've got about 90 seconds altogether. So with that shift to the other side, I'm still straight-legged in the first instance, first couple of reps. I'm breathing out as I come to that end range. Breathing in as I return. So that's here. Then I'll slowly start to flex into this left knee a little bit more. And again, the key is keeping that tall spine, the movement driven from the hips, not from a side bending motion. Again, the bigger flex that you create into that left knee and lean over to that straight right leg, the better. But again, just work your depth, work your range, what's comfortable for you. Awesome. So from there, if we go back to that first side again, what you're going to add in this time is a fraction more of a internally rotated position through each hip, okay? So that'll go through there and through there. So somewhere like 15 to 30 degrees internal with both feet through the knees up into the hips. Same thing. That shift across laterally, left through right, or side through side, whichever way you want to look at that. So again, I'm not leaning back, leaning forward, anything like that too much. I've just got this easy little smooth movement across. If you feel like you need to use your hands on your hips to actually create that extra drive, then you can do too. So if you just go, right, there's my hip crease on each left and right side. I'm just going to actually use a little bit of force into there. Again, slowly starting to create more of a flex into the knee that we're moving away from, leaning away from, and back. And then from there, we'll change sides as well. So when you're ready, same to the other side. Again, initially, it's just the hips that drive. Not too much softening through this knee, as you can hopefully see there. But eventually we'll start to work into a little bit more of a bend for that left knee. Again, that motion is still very much just on this left through right plane. Good. Again, that bit bit softer in the knee now that you're leaning away from. And then from there, we'll start to take this into the upper body. So we are going to move away from just that single plane movement. Cool. Just take a couple of little sit to reach from there. And then we'll get into this upper body moving a little bit as well. Okay, so you're back to that neutral position set with your feet. And through that neutral position set from the feet, as you come into that lean to your left, that drive across to your right side with the hips, you're also now just going to open that right shoulder back, or pull that right shoulder back, okay? And then return. So I lean my upper body to the left, my right shoulder draws back. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to put more distance between this left hip and this right shoulder so that we can enhance the stretch that runs across this deep front line through our what we call functional front line as well. If you want to add a little bit more, then you can also take that arm out into a little reach as well. That might take away the stretch through the adductor region. It might just feel like your shoulder ends up a little bit impinged and you end up thinking more about the shoulder than you do anywhere else. So if that extra reach with the arm doesn't work for you, then don't throw that out there. Just keep the little bit of rotation out and away using that torso. Again, if you find that this distracts from anything else, if you're not getting this through here, if you're feeling that like it goes into your lower back or anything, then just change the setup from this so that you're just going to turn that front foot out or turn that foot out on that side. And then all we'll do is just reverse that movement so that we're just going to rotate from here instead. But again, find out what suits you best in terms of which way you're wanting to open or move the torso through, okay? Again, it's still that same, get to the end range, try and increase it that little bit further every single rep that you do. Still working with your breath as well so that you're not holding on to anything. You're just breathing out as you work in and out of that end position. And then we'll switch to the other side when you're ready. So again, if this version suits you a little bit better, where you're in that kind of warrior pose position, and the torso is allowing itself to rotate towards the midline. It changes things a little bit, but it'll still give you some similar kind of work. But if you're happy working from through here with the opening of that deep front line and functional front line a little bit more, then great, try to stick with that. Can you see that I initially go into that same movement? I'm still working in this frontal plane first up, but then I also add this extra little bit of twist that just extra length and load as we go. Got about 45 more seconds, minute. Then we'll do a couple of easy little sit to reaches. Again, if you want to work this and reach the arm as well, great. But if that does, again, take away from other parts that you feel moving because you're more concentrating on the shoulder and you're going, oh no, I can just feel that purely in the back of my back, then don't worry about doing that one. Awesome, guys. When you're ready, we will have a couple of sit to reach. Again, just let the knees travel forward, the hips shoot back, the arms reach out and forwards. Perfect. All right. Thanks, team.